everybody. Today I want to talk about what you should be bringing with you when you go into the backcountry. Whether it's for a couple of hours, most of a day, a weekend, or a longer trip, there are some essential excursion items and actions that you should be taking every time you go into the backcountry. We wanted to do this video now because we've met some people over the last year that seemed very underprepared for what they were doing when they were out in the wilderness. The first one, make sure you're bringing the 10 essentials every time you go into the backcountry. The 10 essentials are navigation, sun protection, headlamp or flashlight, first aid kit, knife, source of fire, shelter, extra food, extra water, and extra clothing. These pieces of gear are critical to surviving if you get lost and need to hang out in the woods for a couple of extra days. For navigation, I recommend bringing your phone and using it for its GPS positioning. You can use the GPS in your phone even when you don't have signal, which is pretty critical when you're out in the backcountry. There are many apps that you can download, or you can download maps for offline use on Google Maps to help with general navigation. You should also be bringing a compass and a paper map to help, just in case your phone dies while you're out there. For extra clothing and shelter, you should be taking at least an emergency blanket and a windbreaker or a light rain jacket. Simple impenetrable layers will help keep you warm and dry if the weather takes an unexpected turn to the worse or you have to spend an extra night out that you weren't planning on. The second thing I want to bring up is navigation again and trip planning. So over the last 9 months, we have met two groups of people who were quite a few kilometers off of the trail they thought they were on. And both times they thought they were going in the right direction, which was pretty scary. We only figured this out because of a passing conversation where what they said their plan was for the day made no sense given their current location. So we were able to figure that out and point them in the right direction. So again, make sure you have an easy, clear way to navigate and that you're referencing it. GPS is preferred and most smartphones can handle doing that. Aside from navigation, make sure that somebody knows where you're going. This is where the trip plan comes in handy. You have to basically map out what your plan is for the day, as well as your start time and your expected end time. And then make sure you give this to someone you trust and leave it on your vehicle. If that person doesn't hear from you by the check-in time, they're going to try to contact you, and if they don't hear from you a little bit after contacting you, they're going to phone the local emergency services to start the rescue process. With the above trip planning in mind, make sure you have a lot of extra time baked into your day so that you can easily make it for the check-in time. So if you're starting a hike early in the morning and you think it's going to take 6 hours, make your check-in time at or sometime after supper. This way everyone can go throughout their day without stressing out too much, and there's a very unlikely chance of the emergency services being contacted in case your phone breaks or something unexpected happens throughout the day. Third is to know your limits. Knowing how far you can push yourself, how you react to hunger, stress, and heat, and how to fix all of those things is very critical when going out into the backcountry. Being able to simply sit down and self-assess how you're currently feeling can do a lot to pull you back from the edge of making bad decisions and help you calm down and figure out what you need to do to get out. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take risks and shouldn't push yourselves. Rosalind and I do that all the time. But the trick is to know that what you're doing is risky and how, and have a plan to mitigate that. As long as you've made a calm, fully aware decision of what's about to happen or what you're about to do, things will generally go a lot better than if you just keep pushing into your frustration or hunger or heat exhausted state. The last thing I want to mention here is fire safety. Fire is a critical survival tool, and you should always have a way of making it when you go out into the backcountry. However, fire is also a major hazard, and you should always be very fire safety conscious whenever you're using it. If everything's going well, you should really only be making fires in designated fire pits, and these should generally be made out of metal, or at a minimum, they should be very well enclosed rock circles on top of basically granite or other rock faces. If you make a fire into a dirt pit you've dug into the ground, what can happen is that roots in the area will warm up enough to start smoldering, and they can smolder all the way to the tree trunk, which will eventually dry out and catch fire days later. If you're lost and in a survival situation, you're going to need to do what you have to do to stay safe. But you should keep fire safety in mind, because if you don't, you're going to be lost in the woods with a forest fire. Each of the excursion essentials is a full topic on its own and has a lot more depth to it than what I've covered here. I'm planning on making a 10 essentials for day hiking video to show people how small and easy it is to pack everything into a day pack, as I feel there's a misconception about the amount of bulk that it will all take up that prevents people from bringing all of it. If you have any questions about any of these topics or other hiking and backpacking topics, let us know and we'll do our best to answer them. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, or share it. We want to reach as many people as possible with information like this and try to help as many people out as we can. Stay safe out there and have a good week.